Hello guys, and welcome back to another Weather Guy video. Today we'll be talking about Winter Storm Kade. Winter Storm Kade is mostly a southern storm and a Midwest storm that may have some northeast impacts, but we do not know that for sure yet. Currently, Kade is in the Rockies producing snow, and the rain side is developing from the Gulf and is working its way through the Ohio, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Red River valleys. Now you might be wondering where Kade came from. Now Kade is two different areas of water vapor, one that came on the coast of the Pacific Northwest and is moving through the Rockies, and one that is down here in the south that is getting drawn up through Mexico, and that is our rainy side. These will eventually come together. Now let's talk about what's going to happen. So here's our low pressure over New Mexico. Now that is drawing up the Gulf moisture and also pulling down cold air. Now as that low moves further and further south, we could see that cold air get pulled all the way into Texas. Right there, it is snowing in Texas. Now we also have this eastern side of the storm that will be producing some light to moderate rain all the way from Boston down into Louisiana. Now, both of these sides of the storm kind of come together. Now, we're going to be focusing more on this western side. That's where most of the action is going to be for most of the storm. Now, as you can see, we have snow in the northwestern half and some light to moderate rain on the southeastern half, as well as that eastern side still producing a lot of rain. Now, this is when it really starts to ramp up, especially for the Midwest. We have our low pressure here on the Mississippi River. Snows in the north could be heavy at times. We also have sleet and freezing rain starting to come into play. We also have a severe threat starting to come into play as well. Now, that severe threat worsens as this storm keeps getting stronger, as well as that sleet and freezing rain risk also gets stronger and more vast in a range, and the snow continues to fall north of that low pressure. Now, from here to here, there's a big change. One, we're starting to get our northeast impacts. We're starting to see sleet and freezing rain in the areas near New York City and Boston getting more snow, then snow north of there. Now on the back end, you still have snow, you still have that freezing rain risk in the Ohio Valley, but you also have your severe risk from Virginia to Alabama. Now, that low pressure is moving west of New York. Now that means that the East Coast is going to be primarily rain. Now, behind this storm in the Great Lakes region, that's all snow. So you have your severe threat now moving right along the coast. You've rain in your major metro areas, and you have snow from Michigan to Maine and into Canada. Now, the severe threat comes back in the south as the storm's starting to push off the coast. Most of the wintry impacts are gone into Canada, and we're just focused on that severe threat in the south, which keeps going. Now, you can see that more Gulf moisture is getting drawn up here, especially since this low pressure is strengthening. More low pressure, the moisture is getting drawn up from the low pressure, more thunderstorms. Now, these are primarily right along the coastline. Now this starts to move out, and the second low pressure is moving right on the coast, which means interior New York could see some snow on the back end. Then this all moves off. You still see some snow in the interior parts of the Northeast. And then we could see some wraparound snow. Now, we could possibly see a nor'easter develop over this weekend. But the models have been kind of going back and forth. Each model run, like one model run, it's saying nor'easter. The other model run, it's saying none. But I'll get back to you later if that does come to fruition. But that is basically it for the GFS. But now we're going to go to weather.us. This might take a little bit longer because I have to go hour by hour. So right now we have our rocky storm. It's going to draw up moisture. That pink is thunderstorms. Let me show you the key on the bottom, because this is a bit different than tropical tidbits. Now this has the snow really dipping down deep into Texas. Right there. So we really get this delayed snow in Texas, because you have your rocky snow, you have your eastern side producing rain, and then that keeps dipping down slowly. Then you start to get your Midwest snow first in Missouri, Kansas, and then you start to see some snow in the Great Lakes areas. Then you start seeing your Northeast impacts with the icing and the rain. Then you see, while you have 3 separate areas of snow, you have your Texas and New Mexico snow, you have your Midwest snow, and you have your Northeast snow. Then the Texas snow gets stronger and the other 2 areas dissipate. Now you're starting to see those thunderstorms develop. Over there, your severe threat. And now we're really focusing on that snow and ice in Texas. And that continues. Still seeing that setup. Thunderstorms really start to develop now. That really dark pink, that's heavy thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms. And that really dark blue, that's heavy snow. Then you continue moving up with that snow, and you also have that severe threat kind of paralleling each other, and then you really see the explosion in that severe threat. And you continue, that entire line is just moving north and east, pushing along. Now that heavier snow is in Missouri and still back into Texas, and it just keeps moving northeast. Now you can get the Great Lakes region involved in some snow. And then you can see just huge severe threat here. Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, even into Kentucky, Tennessee, even back into Louisiana. Then you also have the significant icing threat that the European model is predicting. Huge icing threat. And this really comes up when we get into the Northeast. The Northeast is predicting a huge icing threat that could potentially impact your Thursday morning commute. But right now, we're at late night Wednesday. Now this continues pushing north and east. You still have that back end snow, but most of the heavy snow is in Canada and Michigan. Now we start to see huge ice threat develop in the Northeast. New York could possibly see some ice. Boston, you'll probably miss out on most of the ice, but not by much. Now we start to see that changeover in the Northeast. This has more snow in the Northeast, more ice in the Northeast, whereas the GFS is mostly just plain rain. Then we continue to see that push into the Northeast with, as you see, more snow and also a whole lot of red. That red is very concerning, as well as all that pink down in the southeast. Just a line of thunderstorms pushing through the country. That continues to move up. And we keep seeing that push, that next push of Gulf moisture moving into the southeast, bringing even more thunderstorms. And then we see heavy rain push into the northeast. And then you could possibly see some snow on the back end, like in interior New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio. And then that all moves off as well. The back end plays out very similar to how it does on the GFS. So, snow. We're going to snow depth. Snow, with the snow, you could see snow, of course, in the Rockies, but then very light snow across the Midwest, possibly a little bit more in the Northeast, and you can see a good amount of snow in Texas. And that is primarily why this storm got named, because of the snow so far in the south. Snow shuts down the south. Whenever there's snow in the south, it turns off the entire economy down there. The roads, the towns, everything. And here's what the GFS is predicting for total positive snow depth change. Again, heavier snow totals in Texas. This is showing a little bit more snow in the Midwest and the Northeast, but all a little bit further north. As always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to stay safe, especially in the snow. Let the crews do their thing. And if you like this video, please drop a like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.